Soweto. Annika had never seen it before. But once they arrived, she realized they were in Soweto. Joburg is split in two. The quiet, peaceful residential neighborhoods. Home to doctors, lawyers, bank officials, and offices suddenly end, giving way to a different world. Southwestern townships, the largest and most dangerous suburb on earth. The lowest, so low it doesn't even deserve a real name. Just an acronym, Soweto. Annika straightens up in her seat and watches. Curious but tense, the only whites who venture into that circle of hell are heavily armed policemen. Some people have lived in Johannesburg their whole lives and have never dared to set foot in the Black City. She leans forward and squints. She's nearsighted. But for the sake of fashion, she only wears sunglasses. Before her stretches a sea of bouillon cubes, hundreds of red brick rectangular blocks, the size of shipping containers. This is the housing effort of the good neighbor policy. With those bouillon cubes, the white government expresses all its contempt for the non-Europeans. The air is heavy with the smell of rancid butter used to light lamps. Who would have thought? Modern black people use butter lanterns like the old white founding fathers. Legend says the ancient Zulu used to fear those flickering halos, thinking them spirits of the dead, and that the old Boers lit them every night to keep the spirits away from their camps. Groups of tough-looking black men linger by the roadside, some chatting, others smoking or drinking. Women carry water cans on their heads, like in the rural kraals. How far did they walk to find a working pump? Other women are cooking outside, using coal. Those reddish cubicles must be ovens in the summer and ice boxes in the winter. The residents insulate them with layers of cardboard. Yet despite the squalor, everything has a normal, even cheerful air about it. In White Joburg, people only go out to lock themselves inside cinemas, restaurants, or clubs. They barricade themselves in cars, on public transport, and taxis. What's the point of enjoying wealth if you live like a prisoner? Many carry weapons, others hire bodyguards. No one strolls around in too much fear. Everyone pays manic attention to where they walk, who they talk to, what they read, what they say. They study signs, terrified of sitting where it's forbidden, of using the wrong public phone. But on the streets of Black Joburg, life buzzes at all hours. Survival rhymes with improvisation. Annika is glued to the window, half horrified and half fascinated by what rolls past, while the other passengers keep chatting amongst themselves. There are traffic lights and stop signs, but no rules. The driver matches the chaos. He changes 3 lanes despite the solid line, drives over traffic islands. Right of way belongs to whoever takes it. First stop, please hurry up. Lewis gets out. Annika breathes a sigh of relief when that guy leaves. Vinicius finally emerges from the trunk and sits next to the Zulu girl. Damn, Regina, he says to the beautiful girl. Did you gain weight? It's always cramped when you're in the car. Regina slaps him. They laugh. Another passenger is dropped off. Then another, until only the driver, Annika, and the Zulu girl remain. No one has spoken to Annika the whole trip except Vinicius. The taxi business clients have chatted non-stop in Zulu, assuming Annika didn't understand and feeling smug to leave her out. Lewis and Regina even exchanged snide remarks about whites. Regina catches the driver's eye in the rear view mirror and smiles while playing with her braids. Those extra long braids, Annika knows, are cheap plastic extensions. The Zulu girl is poorly dressed, despite trying to look neat and tidy. Still, Annika can't help but feel a stab of envy. How flattered that cute Zulu guy must be by that black Venus's flirting glances. Any man would lose his mind for a girl with eyes like that. Annika wonders what's between that stunning girl and the driver. I don't feel like playing third wheel to some couple, she thinks. The Zulu girl is doing everything to remind her that she and the taxi driver are the same, while Annika is just a temporary intruder. Eventually, it's Regina's turn to get off. Before shutting the door, she casts the driver one last look, like a boa wrapping around him. Bye, she whispers, locking eyes with his. The young man returns the farewell. Then he turns toward Annika, offering her back some of the confidence he just took from the other girl. All passengers dropped. Now it's your turn. He looks her in the eyes now. He seems less tense, less frowning. Maybe because they're alone. Maybe because they're in Soweto. Maybe because he got everyone home before curfew. Ray maneuvers through traffic, taking side streets. First, he finds a clear path going down the expressway. Then more chaos as they re-enter the city center. Annika nearly has a heart attack with that reckless driving, but doesn't dare complain. She tries to kickstart a conversation, but nothing comes to mind, so she resigns herself to staring out the window. So many graffiti on the walls. Enough of whites only. Annika stares at the slogans written in the native language. Want to know what it says? He asks. Oh, I know what it says, she replies. I speak Zulu. Really? Of course. He asks. Where are you from originally? Natal High Veld, she answers, proudly enunciating. The boy smiles wider. So am I. Annika feels a new spark. Maybe the ice is broken. What brought you to Johannesburg? She asks, more determined than ever to befriend him. The government confiscated the lands where my family lived for generations. And so, here we are, in the shacks of Soweto. Annika lowers her eyes. Nothing ever goes smoothly for her. It's dark by the time they reach the neighborhood where Greta and Adrian live. What's the address? Annika snaps out of it. She hadn't noticed that by now. They were back in the meticulous order of the white zone. She does her best to give directions until, after a few wrong turns, they stop in front of Greta and Adrian's house. Annika points to the garden full of garden gnomes and he pulls over. How much? Annika asks. Nothing. Company's paying. Both search for something else to say. It's late, he observes. Annika raises her hands. Oh, I don't keep track of time? She bites her tongue. She has no curfew. He does. The Zulu man points at the curfew clock fixed to a lamppost. Annika, embarrassed, hurries to get out. Then she pokes her head back in and offers her hand. Thanks for the ride. My name's Annika. The taxi driver stares at her in surprise. Then he shakes her hand and replies, Raymond. Friends call me Ray. Ray shifts into gear and drives away. Annika waves goodbye. Ray catches the gesture in the rearview mirror. He wonders whether the dim lamplight revealed his expression, which is lost, like in a foreign city or on a path whose end he doesn't know. Just like that, a wall divides, then falls like